All right, here we go. Toonkind at 12 frames per second. This is Low Spirits. And I'm Kraken. I'll be playing good old Admiral Abbigull, who is having a time. Who's with me today?
Yellow motherfuckers. It's me, Babble. Local little brat penguin bastard today.
Yup. Sure is.
They're both having a time, man.
Yeah, out the gate, we're going to have to call this one a medium to potentially high angst.
Yeah.
Just out the gate.
Yeah.
Because, listen, Jackie don't feel good.
No.
Jackie's sick. And when you're sick for a while, you get a little cranky.
Mm-hmm.
Get a little cranky. Things get tense. How long has it been since the last brat battles and Abbigull busting from the police station in Marine Crimes?
Oh, God.
How long do you think it's been?
Initially, it was supposed to be just a couple days because I didn't expect Abby to fight it, stall the progression of this illness.
She thought she could do it herself.
She did. And she did a good job at stalling it. Which I love her for. Good lord. So it was initially supposed to be like maybe a couple days, but at this point it could have possibly run about as long as a month.
Ooh. I don't think she would delay that long because, anything past more than I'd say 4 days, she's starting to get real concerned. Because at that point, she's like, okay, this is outside of the pay grade. So I put my money probably on a week or a week and a half, where Abbigull's having to accept this needs outside help.
Understandable. Yep.
So on that note, I think we open up with Jackie. I think you've been squarely bundled away in Abbigull's quarters, just all the blankets ever, all the squishy, fluffy things ever. Basically just this big old nest piled up that you've been existing in.
Yeah. Yeah. And on one hand...
And at this very moment, it's just Jackie in the room. How you feeling, buddy? How's that pollution swirl treating you today?
I sit here wheezing nervously because, no. Fucking shit. Listen, man. Listen. Straight out the gate, this kid's kind of slowly dying. That's what pollution swirl does to water spirits, is it slowly kills them. Well, it's supposed to swiftly kill them, but when you have a mom that can use spell to stall it at a certain point, it's just slowly doing it.
Dropping, let me tell you, so many lesser restorations, so many protection from poison.
Yeah. And while it's not curing it, it is stalling the progression. So let me make... what is your con? Alright, it's just straight up D20. Okay.
Oh boy. I sit here nervously. Knowing it's all going to be fine, but I sit here nervously.
And that's a 10.
Middling. Not any worse and not any better than they were yesterday, which is still not great.
Yeah. So, just for context, the progression of this has gotten up very slowly to 90%, whereas it was at around a little over 50 in marine crimes.
Progressing slowly, you said, despite jumping up 40%. But
it would have already killed them otherwise.
Slow for pollution swirl.
Yeah.
But on that note, the door does open and Abbigull is coming in. She's got a big ol' just a bowl of broth in her arms because this penguin needs to eat. Need to hydrate.
Hydrate before you dehydrate. In this penguin's case, quite literally.
Yeah. And she's... Alright, Jackie, I hope you're awake, because otherwise I will have to wake you up. And the Admiral's kind of a loud person by nature, not toning this down at all, because wants to make her presence known, because Jackie may not pick it up at first.
I'm gonna see if they do.
Just, yeah.
Alright, babe. What do you see?
What do you sense?
I forgot if I said that it was going to be at disadvantage or not. Let's see how mean Dice Parser is going to be. I mean, a 13 isn't great. For them.
There is a presence in the room. It is probably your mom.
Their tiny head lifts up.
Oh. She's continuing to chatter, puts the bowl down for a moment, and then just lightly touches the top of Jackie's head and is going to be casting yet another lesser restoration. Alright.
Abby's wing gets a little...
Any visible
nibble.
reaction, or is Jackie just... Bleh?
Abby gets a little nibble on her feathered fingers.
Wow. Hey, there you are. But is sitting down with the soup. Alright, now hold on. You're going to have to sit up for this. Reaching over to just prod Jackie into being upright.
With every poke, Jackie is... Oh, God. They're missing because they can't exactly pinpoint where. All the time. Because that's another thing that Pollution Swirl does, is, your ability takes out your senses slowly. Their senses aren't that great to begin with.
It's like this balancing game Abbigull's doing between touchy could be hurty and, guiding Penguin to where they need to be.
Yeah.
That's why it's been like light touches, little like pokes and prods. So just maneuvering Jackie into sitting up, facing the right direction, and just... Well, the thing is, it has to be pretty touch heavy. Even just lightly. So Abbigull's starting to just, Try and spoon feed this penguin while still chattering. Now, I told you yesterday we're turning course and heading for somewhere else. We're going back to the nearest cleric temple I know of, Erasure Temple, because there are higher level clerics than me that exist, surely. Many, many of them. They'll have better spells and better knowledge for you. I can't help you like this. So, that's right. Just an update on how we're doing. We'll be docked in by tonight, and we'll be there first thing in the morning. All right, darling?
Okay.
And what's that 8?
That 8 was another perception to see if they could at least understand what she was saying.
Oh.
The answer
Not
is
really.
no. They know that they hear her, but dear God, they don't understand a shit nor dick about what she's saying.
There's just like, you know, when you're sitting against someone, they're talking, you just like feel the vibrations. It's just that.
Yeah.
Abbigull sure is talking. Who knows what about?
All Jackie really knows as well is that there's food in front of their face.
Are they eating? Are they hungry at all?
Alright, one sec.
Well,
I imagine that they probably are hungry. It's just... I don't think anything's really been setting well for them. So they're a little afraid to eat.
Oh, poor baby. Know that feeling. Let's do persuasion from Abbigull. Dice purser. Ooh. Oh God, it's not loading.
Discord, why? Why do you do this?
In limbo. Well, okay. 8 on the persuasion. This is just like, you know, that classic, the kids just like going, and turning their head away.
Yeah, I imagine that by now she's gotten Jackie. I imagine she's gotten Jackie at least like how they usually sit, which is kind of like a dog in the sense of they will sit on their belly with like their one flipper in front of them.
Oh God.
Kind of loafed, almost like a cat. He says, I have my cat right here.
Yeah, Abbigull is saying, here comes the airplane, like Jackie can see, and she knows they can't, so it's just kind of like spooning its face, bat, 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 and Jackie going, nah, nah, nah.
Pretty much. Eventually they'll try and bite at it, but not to like take a bite, more so to just fuck off.
Yeah, I think that's actually at that point Abbigull's strategy. Wait until Jackie's feeling bitey and then, aha! Gotcha!
Antagonize the child.
Listen, she knows this kid. Jackie bitey.
They are very bitey. If you're gonna do that, make me a dex.
Hell yeah. Oh, excellent. I just remember what Abbigull's dex is. Perfect. Hey!
I mean, it's working!
Jackie opens to indignantly to take a chomp, and Abbigull's just like, whoop. Spoonfuls at a time.
God. Abby, beloved.
But the good news is it works.
Hell
and it works
yeah.
enough that Abbigull sets aside the, like, somewhat depleted bowl and just repositions and is going to take Jackie's flipper and lay it over both her hands as she then she doesn't know how much Jackie is taking in. She gets the feeling not a lot. She's going to sign again the same information about where they're going and how long and the temple and the plan.
And she's doing the touch version, yeah?
Yeah, it's basically pro-tactile sign, where Jacqueline only has the one flipper, but laid over top at least of Abbigull's hands as signing, so that you can, like, physically feel what's going on and where it's positioned.
Alright, well, I rolled with advantage because I wanted to be nice. That was a nat 20.
I don't know if this means they've had practice at this particular mode or Abbigull's just being very clear, but hot damn. I take it touch is one of the last senses to go.
More than likely, I guess. God, what? I'm gonna say that taste is probably the first to go. But I guess touch, yeah? I mean, touch is their strongest, sense, so it's a little bit more difficult for it to... They're very practiced at it. I can't word, but yeah, that. It's gonna take a lot more than this amount of time, probably, for it.
And then Abbigull's still signing. All right, give me a nod for yes, you understand, or I guess nothing if you don't.
They slowly nod.
Hey, good kid. And there's just little smooch dropped on top of the head. Motherly peck.
Their head lifts up at that. And their beak opens as if, like, they will bite. But then they realize very slowly that that was a kiss, and they're just like, oh, okay.
I'm sorry, the image in my mind immediately was when you pet a cat and they initially, like, go hiss, but then realize, oh, this is a nice.
That is basically the essential reaction, yeah.
It's a little hissy baby.
They're very cranky. Cranky little brat child.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, Abbigull feels like she knows the answer, but is asking, how are you feeling?
They just kind of slowly stick their tongue out.
Couldn't answer, Senny.
They don't look happy while they're doing so either. Like, it's not a neutral expression. It's a genuine, like, nah, I feel like shit.
We'll just try to sneak another spoonful of food in there as they did that. 9 did not work.
Let's see, where's your patience for that? Jackie at the moment. It's at 15. I'm gonna give you disadvantage because you're a cranky little shit. It's a 12. So once
Patience
again,
is wearing thinner.
Yeah. So once again, Abby gets a bite at the spoon, but not. Spoon does not enter her mouth, and there is a bite at her hand. Not one of like active salt, but just like a meh.
Warning nip.
Yee.
Cranky little baby.
Very much so.
And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, yanks. Tries to yank that hand in range. Nope, Abbigull gets a little teased. Was not quick enough. She's like, ow, hey now. I know you're sick. I know you're upset. That's what we're working on fixing, all right? I should have just taken you to a cleric temple sooner, but that's what we're working on now, yeah?
There's just a whistle of indignance. It's very slight and it's weak, but it's there.
"14 perception due on..." She's looking for the stuffed penguin that Jackie's been so fond of lately, because knowing this is pollutions, we're like, I don't know if this is similar to maybe a particular rat where things around and touching might get dirty.
Yes, it is very much so. With how far along it is, very.
So pretty much everything here, this entire nest could use a wash. And that includes any and all comfort objects.
Yeah. Honestly, Todd probably needs a bath at some point. Listen, Todd doesn't...
Abbigull's just inclined to, like, blast Todd with create water.
He would not mind.
She just points at him and goes, psh.
He would not care. He might actually enjoy that. As long as there's, like, a warm blanket he can roll around on afterwards.
Fair enough. But yeah, it could all use a wash, frankly, including Jackie. So I think Abbigull's just going to scoop up the entire thing.
I don't have the photo on my computer at the moment of the seagull plushie.
I should have grabbed that in advance. I know it exists. But there is, in fact, a little seagull plushie Jackie picked up at some point. Remind me what it's called again?
Gabby.
Gabby. Interesting. Any resemblance to persons alive or dead is purely coincidental.
I sit here and I cry.
But a 13 strength for trying to pick up the whole pile. Abbigull has done it, but as she walks, she's dropping things left, right, and center. There's a trail following of just blankets and pillows and bits and bobs. There's the Gabby.
Here it is.
Wow, white and blue color scheme. That reminds me of no one.
Listen. My beloved. Gave me the description, and I'm like, alright. Fuck.
You went, how do I make this hurt?
It wasn't the intention at first, but then I thought about it and why they would be so attached to it, and I just realized some things, and then I went, oh no.
The unfortunate thing, if we ever give ourselves time to think about things, the two of us, we make it sad.
It'll be happy eventually.
Gabby is like the one thing that for sure is not dropped, because Jackie is holding on to Gabby like a lifeline.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna make a fucking strength save for this child on this fucking thing. Yep. Yep. That's fucking 15. They are not letting that go.
Alright. I think there's a wash tub set up somewhere else, and Abbigull's just immediately working to fill it with water, warm it up. We're getting a warm, sudsy bath going.
Make me a perception check. Because, like, the entire time that they were being moved with all of this, their color had changed. Even though it's really hard to see the color change.
Oh.
They were angry. How dare somebody move me?
I was comfy and miserable where I was.
They were cranky squared.
No talk me, Angie.
Yep. I'm not even gonna make them roll for this, though, because, like, they can sense the warmth of the top water, and they're just like, hello? Lifting their head up slightly. They can't see for shit, but damn if they're not interested in the warmth.
And yeah, with the 21 perception, Abbigull will see both the color changes occur, but also the peak in interest. And there's a spell for this. Where is it? You just very quickly control finding water.
What are you doing, chunky butt?
Oh, do we not have shape water? Ah, well. Abbigull's just gonna flick some drops at Jackie. Warm drops of clean water.
There's that open beak of indignance, like, rude.
How dare you?
How dare you insult me? Let's see.
But warm bath drawn up. It's a big bubble bath going on. There's just bubbles everywhere. Soap. I think there's already been at least one bath this nature, and I don't know if it visibly helped at all, but it's something.
It sure do be.
Mm-hmm. So, Jackie, again, you get like a sort of warning tap on the shoulder before Abbigull picks you up and is just going to plonk you in the bath.
For a moment, Abby has the most squirmy little shit in her in her feathered wings. Angry child.
Oh, she's got a good hold.
Has dealt with this child before.
So instead of being dropped in the water because squirm, Jackie, you are lowered very dignified into the tub.
Let's see. Are you going to do this? Are you mad? Are you that mad?
Uh-huh.
No.
What were they thinking of?
They were thinking about squirting her in the face with water via water beam. A very small water beam. Like a water gun, but no. They're in water.
And while Jackie gets used to this new state of existence, whether they're happy about it or not, Abbigull's going to retrieve all the dirty bedding they've been existing in, get up in one place, and just yeet it in a corner to be dealt with before coming back.
I mean, Jackie isn't as excited as they usually would be for a bath, but they are just kind of lazily slapping at the water.
1-800, are you slapping? Yeah. Abbigull's just gone for a minute, zipping down the hall, picking up everything, doop, 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 tossing into a corner, and something missing from that pile, isn't there? We got the pillows. It's like 4 of them, unless there's a 5th. She'll find at some point blankets. Yeah, a couple stuff like. Where's Gabby?
That's a good question.
I think she'll have to turn around to look back at Jackie, and Jackie, who has not let go of Gabby at all. Gabby's just sitting in the tub with them.
Yep.
Splash, splash, slap, slap.
I will let you know though, they are turned away from her.
Oh.
Not from Abby, but from Gabby. Gabby is kind of behind them.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna do a perception. 15. I feel like once she comes closer to start, actually doing the bath scrub down, like, oh, there's an unexpected occupant. Yeah. No, this one gets a separate washing, and Abbigull is going to try and take Gabby.
Sleight of hand versus perception. Which Jackie is making a disadvantage. Abby, my beloved.
Oh my god.
Okay, Jackie's apparently very attached to this, because that was a nat 20 and a 19, so even at disadvantage, they fucking
versus
notice.
The nat 1.
Damn, okay, Dice Parser, you know what you're doing today.
The Dice Parser knows what the plot is.
Mm-hmm. Immediately, Jackie turns around and gives another warning bite. This one is admittedly a little harder than the last one.
Which Abbigull does not dodge. She gets a little chomp. Which, does not break skin or ink or whatever, but it's
no.
It's a pointed, hey, back off.
Yeah, and even if they tried, unless they used a particular spell, then I believe they should still have. Unless they don't, and I'm just... Do they still
it's
have
like getting teeth on by your pet.
Yeah. It's like getting mouthed.
Yeah. It's like, oh, hey. yanks hand back because, like, that was technically a rope side hand, but she hadn't been trying to be subtle about this at all. It was like, this should be like no problem thing, right? And then Jack immediately just went, fuck you.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Hey, Jax.
You get angry little whistles up at you.
I'm sorry, that's just such a good sound. I'm imagining just the angriest little whistles.
It is. It is the angriest little whistles. And they're going to continue to nip at her. Because, no, back off. And they're moving closer to Gabby.
It's like, hey. Jack, hey. Just like trying to dip in and moving wings out of the way. Just like, Jack, come on. That thing needs a bath too. I mean, you haven't let go of it like the entire time. It hasn't had a bath at all. Even before this, it's past due.
That's an 11. I'm making that at disadvantage. Okay. Damn. They're sick and they're tired. Surprisingly, I guess that means that they have more patience than usual. But they are still angry whistling and pushing her hands back and moving forward. The more that she continues to try to do this, the more angry they're gonna get. And the harder they're gonna start nipping.
Well, Abbigull's going to change tactics a bit and try and, take Jackie's brain had... After 2 seconds, I realized the word was flipper. I was about to say flubber. Takes Jackie's flipper to, move it in place for more, like, touch signing, which I don't know if Jackie will let her.
I don't think that they will. I think as soon as, like, Abby's wings are in range, because she's already upset them trying to take Gabby, there are going to be little nips.
Oh, dear.
Alright, what you gonna do, babe? Okay, you are going to do that.
Uh-huh.
Alright, how do I do this? Where's the thing? When the fuck did you get Spare the Dying? Oh, never mind. Okay. What is your ranged spell attack, babe? Ow. Alright. That's a 21. Does a 21 hit?
Sure does.
Alright, you get water beamed in the face, Abby. I'm sorry. And that's 6 bludgeoning damage.
Right in the kisser, just pow.
And fun fact about what happens with water beam with pollution swirl is that it's also oily and gross.
Yep, just and yeah, Jackie, it works. Suddenly, Abbigull is not in your personal space anymore because she's stumbling back and wiping at face and just going, ugh. And I feel like her reaction to getting sprayed with oily gunkiness is actually kind of more visceral than it might have been in the past. Because, on her last level up, got a level in Druid due to reasons, and she may not have been having a response, but in these trying times has been kind of, what would she call it? Talking to Jackie's parents. She doesn't know if they still exist in any capacity, but they've communicated before.
I will say that when you get sprayed in the face with that really dirty, oily water, there's the immediate I don't want to say it's like somebody else's panic, but in a sense it kind of is.
Sort of like deja vu remembered.
Mm-hmm. And something tells you that this is dangerous to you.
Yeah, it's a more visceral reaction than she would have had previously, and I think that also takes her by surprise. So, Jackie, you get even more space because Abby's stumbling for a clean towel and is just wiping this off, getting every last bit of it off because heart's racing a little.
Mm-hmm. Abby, make me a whiz save.
Oh, joy.
That's a 16. Alright. I can't give you... you passed.
Yeah.
You feel like there was something coming up in your memory. But...
Can't quite grasp it. Doesn't quite breach the surface.
Yeah. Could also be that you held it together to not have that there. Not see it.
Listen, we don't have time to pack all of that. Just throw out the whole suitcase. We have a sick child here. Priority numero uno. Abby can deal with her own problems later.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry a single goddamn thing.
Everything is fine. There is no lore in Saltpear Port.
Repress it.
But anyways, Jackie kind of notices that there is no longer a person trying to grab at Gabby, so they're just slowly sitting back down.
Oh, man. Because, on one hand, I feel like if any other time, Abbigull would be more chill about this. Whatever, technically the bath can clean them both. But Abbigull is trying to get them as clean and washed up as possible. That thing is filthy, and it's not gonna help. It should be washed separately. And, of course, Jackie will get Gabby back. And were Jackie inclined to let her explain that, she would say, even if they would still be incredibly cranky with her. But, listen, it's gotta go. She can't risk Gabby, continue contaminating the bath more than Jackie themselves is. So I think Abbigull's casting guidance on herself to add a D4 to another sleight of hand.
Oh boy. Oh, that's an 8 from Jackie. You got it.
And a 17 from Abbigull. She just is at the sink, puts down the towel, steals her resolve, comes around the back because she knows Jackie is, like, blind, deaf, and sensei. Just takes advantage of all that to just come around the back and yoink. Does Jackie notice?
No. No, they do not.
Victory. Abbigull places Gabby, fairly gently on top of the to-be-washed pile. And comes back around. It's like, all right, scrubby dubby. And Jackie, you are going to probably react to this like most cats. Sitting in water fine. Abel is now just scrubby. There is soap. There is bubbles. There is a, those washboards for laundry?
Yeah.
What was it? Oh god, what's the one?
That was it. That was their patience.
Out the window instantly. Abby gets out the washboard and it's just like dunk, scrub, scrape, and Jackie is furious.
They are very angry. Okay.
There is just caterwauling wails and squeaks.
Very much so. There's the most angry little squeaks and whistles. Abby, I'm sorry you are getting bitten a lot. That is a 21 for an acrobatics check.
Jackie, you are so sudsy that you just shoot out of grip. You're so sudsy and slippery.
And I think they land on, like, the lip of the tub thing. And maybe it tips over.
And water goes everywhere.
Jackie does not care. They're doing the angry little tail wiggles.
2 inches of water in this place now.
And
Abel just has to go like, well, I suppose that'll have to be good enough.
Hey, Abby.
Mm-hmm.
That water, it looks a lot like bilge water.
Yeah, it would. Does Jackie themselves look any cleaner at all? Did it do anything?
No. I mean, there's soap suds. But as they shake it off, there's oil still flying along with it.
Abbigull is being reminded of, like, a past employee of hers, a past deckhand who, when he was hurt pretty bad, it's not the same, but boy, just leaking gunk and oil and bilgy looking water everywhere. Yeah, it's reminiscent. It took a while to get that smell out. So yeah, there's other important things to be thinking about, but now Abbigull's low-key connecting the maybe not correct dots of does bilge rat have pollution swirl? Is that why he was never goddamn clean? Maybe that's correct. Maybe that's not. She doesn't know. You don't know. I'm sitting here. I'm winking.
Okay. That's a 5. Okay.
5 for what?
It's 5 for Con to see how Jackie's doing.
And how does that manifest?
Did they look fucking wobbly as shit after shaking off? For one thing, what little color there is turns a kind of green. And they're just gonna stand there for a minute.
Like, oh, honey, I know you're unhappy with me and everything and all about this. And this is speaking out loud, so Jackie, by all accounts, cannot really get the meaning of the words. But yeah, tone goes a long way if they can perceive it. And Abigail's gonna pick up big, fluffy, clean towel. Just gonna approach and, again, tap the shoulder before moving into just fluffy, warmed, clean towel scoop.
Very little resistance.
Oh. No, you're unhappy with me. Lord knows. I'm sure I gave my parents and family similar troubles. They do say that clerics make the worst patients. And is just goop them up. I'm going to roll another strength. 9 on scooping. It's a big towel. It's a lot of armful. Jackie is half her height, or
Jackie's like a foot tall.
There's still a big armful of penguin. Abigail's like 3 feet.
They're like a third of her height, but they also grew an inch since being with her. So
we love to see it. What was your roll for?
To see if they noticed Gabby was gone.
Mm-hmm. And
that's a 10. Would you say that they noticed?
Definitely not immediately. I think as Abby has bundled them up and is like waddling out of the room, this is a big armful to carry. It's not going fast. 10 not noticing immediately. By the time of getting back closer to the room, something might twig.
God, that one from earlier, they have no fucking patience, but also they feel like shit.
It's basically, do you have the energy to be angry?
Okay.
That looks like a yes.
Abby, I'm sorry. Make me a dex saving throw.
Oh, hell yeah.
As the small child immediately is just going to lunge out of the blankets.
Hey, that's a 6.
Your beak gets a really big, angry chomp, and this time, they're just being fucking mean.
Yeah, this is probably the hardest bite she's ever received by a long shot.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, here's the thing. Receiving that, Abigail would drop them just out of sheer surprise.
Okay. I'm not gonna do anything for that. That you just hear a splat, kind of, and a thunk of them hitting the floor. God, that towel is probably dripping with oil by this point.
Yeah, Abbigull figured it was never going to be long for this world. It was nobly sacrificed.
But they climb out of that towel, and I'm gonna see if they can pinpoint where the fuck Abby is. Because they're mad. That's a 13. Takes them a minute. Probably.
Uh-huh.
But
yeah,
when they do...
in that minute, Abbigull's still just, like, rubbing the beak and going, ow.
Oh, God. Well, I mean, now they're going straight for her ankles now that they know where she is. And again, they're being mean about it.
Roll to attack.
Oh, God. Where is that, you tiny little bastard? I don't want their slingshot. I would like their unarmored attack, please. Thank you. Do they not?
I think is like D20 plus your strength modifier.
Dear God. Okay. Your strength mod is a -2.
Or, wait, no, that's wrong. An unarmed attack is 1 point of damage plus your strength mod. So in the case of a negative modifier, I think it's just 1 point of damage, because that's how unarmed works in D&D. Unless you're a monk, you don't just punch.
Well, that's fair. They still have to make the ranged attack, though.
They sure do.
And that's a 17.
Yeah, that hits.
I mean...
Take a pecking chomp, babes.
Angry child. Coming for her ankles. So, Abby, you get a hearty 1 point of damage from this very angry child biting at your ankles.
Well, I mean, she's used to not taking damage from nibbles and whatnot. So, yeah, just like hopping backwards, going, oh, what bee is in your bonnet? Like, what? When did you last actually sleep? Good God, you're cranky. You just picks up the towel again with the sort of wince, because this thing is disgusting now. And it's just going to, again, try and bundle up Jackie, yeet them into bed, take a hecking nap.
Alright. I'm gonna roll acrobatics because they're not wanting any part of that now. That's 23. Okay.
Juked and dodged.
There is the most fucking angry sounding whistles, and it kind of sounds... Abby, you know what their distress whistles sound like.
Oh.
It is sounding, very slowly starting to sound a lot like that.
Like, oh, what? Listen, it's just me here. Are you worried what's going on? Jax, you gotta talk to me. I don't know what you need. And I think in all this commotion, there's a knock on the wall from like a hatch further up, and someone who looks like they're just made of prickly green rope pokes their head down, has knocked on the wall to get, their captain's attention, and just signs, "Y'all good?"
Jackie's not paying any attention.
Hauser, fine. Focus on getting all the wind in those sails you can and getting us to port. It's just like slow blink. All right. Retreats.
The poor rest of the crew.
Yeah, God.
Oh, man.
Hauser, the first mate, just has to deal with this shit right now.
Jackie was not paying attention to the other person.
Yeah,
I don't even think that they noticed the other person.
Yeah, I highly doubt it. That was purely Abbigull perception. But feel we need to get your boss's attention. There's like a mini battle going below with her kid.
God.
But oh, what?
That was another attack roll.
What is that? Well, that's a 0.
They go to
Jackie,
try and bite her, but they end up face planting into the wall.
God. They face plant into the wall, and this gives Abbigull the perfect opportunity to swoop and to scoop and to step and to yeet. Because Jackie's been rolling stuff for patience. I think I need to roll something for Abbigull's patience. Oh!
Oh!
Oh! Oh! Wait. Hold on.
You put a minus.
Doesn't work.
I mean, it's still a nat 1.
She does not get a -5 in patience. That's not how it works. She has a +6 modifier to whiz saves.
So it's a 7. But it's still a nat 1.
Abbigull's patience is... This is the breaking point. Wait, it is only a D2. I'll do another disadvantage, but the other is a 12, which also isn't great. Yeah, I'm going 12. The point still stands that it's been a week and more of this. Jackie hasn't been getting better, has in fact been getting worse. It seems like nothing Abbigull has done has helped. She's afraid that anything she's done might be making it go worse or faster.
Abby,
it's all
honey.
coming to Camel's back.
Abby, honey,
this is a lot of stress for Mom. And just, Jackie, you're essentially in time out. A new nest has been built. You are being yeeted on there, and Abbigull's just closing the door and walking away because she needs space.
At the moment, they're just...
Okay, lies. While she's holding you, there is a protection from poison cast before she walks away to get that air.
God. My beloveds.
We knew this was coming, probably.
We did. We really did.
We really said this is no communication, the FPS.
Yep.
So, Jackie, you're in a new pile. You don't have Gabby. It seems like your mom has left you alone. You are angry and cranky and sick and hurting and ow.
I think for a while they're still going to be doing that whistle because they're just that mad and upset, and they don't know how to communicate why or anything like that. But eventually that whistle just turns to pure distress because, well, they don't understand. Now they don't have Gabby, their mom's gone. What? They can't see nothing. A lot of Jackie's side is based on touch and everything else, and at the moment for them the world is dark. It's just nothing but pitch black around them. They're scared.
Oh. On the flip side, Abbigull's gone back to, the washing room and looks at the pile of dirty sheets and whatnot. Heaves a big sigh, grabs them and Gabby, and just new wash bin set up, sitting down, and is just scrubby-dubby. Just working out things that way. Just set yourself to a mindless task and go at it. But she handles Gabby first. And sighs as she goes, I don't know if I'm doing this right. I don't know if I've ever been doing this right. I don't know, don't suppose you'd have any advice at all? Vague gesture to the air in general, because she doesn't really expect a reply from the water spirit she met. But talking aloud, rubber duckying to her god, essentially, is something that helps her, and now water spirit parent has been included in that. She's used to not getting a reply. And sometimes that hurts, but it's the rubber duckying that counts, right? Just getting it in the air. Vent your stuff.
The only thing that I can offer you, Abby, is that there is the vaguest feeling of warmth somewhere in there.
And maybe she's imagining it, but, being a cleric, Abbigull is what I guess we in the industry call spiritual as fuck. And we'll take that. Pause a moment to just feel the feeling, acknowledge it, take a deep breath, in and out. Thanks for listening. And it takes a bit, but Gabby is eventually scrubbed clean, shiny, sparkling, and you know what? For fun, Abbigull casts create and destroy water on Gabby to dry it. Just dry. And Gabby's going to get dirty again pretty much instantly. But
I mean, you have time to get a good look at Gabby.
Yeah, you know what? Let's. Do you figure this is like perception or insight?
It's possibly insight. I will at least give you that anyway. There's, like, some part of you that feels kind of suspicious. And again, it's like the same thing of where it might not be you. And that's a nat 1. I'm gonna give you advantage. Because of that vague feeling of suspicion.
Yeah. It's so funny, but I don't think we can keep that nap 1. Fucking imagine, there is no self-awareness in this bird ever.
It's okay. Oh god, fucking damn it.
6 is better. The suspicion deepens. She's looking at this thing, and she isn't being reminded of herself because, you know, I feel like anyone else looking at this would go like, huh, did you get like a little toy commissioned of yourself? That sure looks a lot like you. No, Abbigull's just thinking about like all the plush toys she had as a kid, or like, you know, kids' special blankies, or all her little like nibblings who will keep, you know, a blanket until it's in tatters, and just going, yeah. So, Gabby being washed and clean and sparkling new, and having had the time to work that energy out and to sit and to think and to, like, you know, talk it out to probably no one, but potentially someone, goes feeling a lot calmer, stands up, and she's going to head back to the room. Has Jackie tuckered themselves out to sleep? Has it been long enough?
Yeah.
Jackie's out.
God, this child.
Nat 1, Jackie is unconscious.
Make me a perception check, though.
Yeah.
That's a 20.
Yeah, thank God.
So, everything looks fine around Jackie, but something tells you to look up?
Oh?
There's...
Well, she does that.
You don't know how the fuck it got up there. But there's now, like, oily, round residue on the ceiling. And it looks kind of like bubbles.
Oh, rubbing her face because, like, oh, tears come out as bubbles. Well, for now, the best she can do is just tuck Gabby into Jackie's flipper, and due to the nat 1, Jackie does not wake up. Jackie's out.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe they curl instinctively around the toy.
Yeah. They probably pull it into them because they were already pretty much curled up and they had their face covered by their flipper. So they probably roll onto their side and pull Gabby in.
A hand over their head, little motherly smooch on the head, and Abbigull is going to leave and head on deck and check progress and make sure they are hauling ass as fast as possible. And yeah, I think unless there's anything else you have, I think that's the fun little happy times FPS we've had.
I think the only thing that I have is like Todd is now coming out onto the deck with you, and I'm gonna. Where is Todd's thing? Hold on.
Surprise to Abbigull, she does not expect that dog to leave Jackie's side.
Normally he wouldn't, but they're asleep at the moment. And Todd has been slowly trying to spend more time with you, Abby, as well.
Aw.
Here we go. Todd, the very good boy. The best boy.
Goodest boy.
Open the fuck up, please. Alright. Okay. With an 18 of insight from Todd, is she okay?
No.
Didn't think
not
so.
Not the worst she's ever been, but she's not doing great.
You get a Todd resting his head against your side, Abby.
Oh. Yep. There's just dog leaning against her, being a big fluffy comfort as Abbigull goes and mildly terrorizes the crew.
Very much so.
And I think that's been low spirits.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kraken, for playing with me.
Thank you, Babble. All right. Here we go. I'm going to stop my recording. Bye, everyone.